You think of how many police officers in the United States, and you're going to have some bad ones. I mean, just like Lennox or the Rifles or wherever else you work. You know, and we can't help other people's actions, but when you see them do it, you better stop it. You know, regardless of the consequences, you better stop them. So,
I know that the question came in that why don't you have any black deputy that's patrolling the county? There's a lot of white guys, but they want to know why there's no black men and deputies patrolling and in position. Why haven't you put any of those or hired any black African Americans?
There is actually, as far as positions go, up until 2018, we had a sheriff and we had a chief deputy. And we do now, since 2018, thanks to Ms. McLemore, we got an investigator. And we've had a black deputy before, Deputy Glenn Pitts. Love that guy with all my heart. And, you know, worked with him since early 90s, and he moved to the sheriff's office with me. I'm actually the one that talked the sheriff into hiring him. And you can't beat him. I take a dozen of them. But, you know, at some point in time you get enough of, you know what I'm saying, the stress and dealing with everything. And he got to the point where, you know, it was finally time for him to leave. And we all hated it, we miss him. And since that time, you know, with everything going on, I get, if I have a job opening, the last opening I had one guy from Whitehall that came in and sit down with me and filled out an application and done an interview. That was it. Nobody's interested.
Do you have any openings now?
No, sir. I don't have any openings. There for a long time, it was the same guys: Bobby Locke, Alan Chief, Roy Press. I mean, you know, those guys stayed there till they retired. And then we had a time period where the new guys started coming in. You know, every year or two we'd hire a person, but nobody's really interested in being in the police no more.
Do you have any blacks doing auxiliary at this time? How many blacks auxiliary sheriff do you have?
I don't think Deputy Pitts, we wanted to keep him around. Out of 18, I think we have one.
One.
That's it.
And how many staff members you have?
I have 10 deputies.
All right, question number 2 came across. How many AR-15s do y'all have?
We have one for every deputy. Well, as far as the sheriff's office goes, we have, for the 10 officers, we have 7. We bought with a grant several years ago, like in 2008, and a lot of them just want their own, you know, just so every deputy has one, and if they're not fortunate enough to be able to purchase one, we will get them one.
So you have 10, you said?
Yeah, the sheriff's office owns 7, but everybody has one. Like I said, some people want their own personal one that they carry around with.
All right, last question, Todd. I'm gonna try to pump this up, faster up, moving on.
Okay.
How come the community does not know what goes on in the county when you arrest people from African Americans? That the county is the rural area out, and I know that you don't have body cameras also, but how do people know what goes on if something happened to an African American on a country road? He get beat up, but the officer, first thing the officer said, he tried to attack me. How you cover? How is that people going to know?
Well, it's just like he said, she said type thing. Unfortunately, I mean, there is no way to tell who's telling the truth. I mean, just like on a domestic call we go to with a man and a woman, I mean, we have to look at their injuries, see if they're consistent with, you know, defensive wounds or, you know, aggressive wounds or something like that. But I understand what you're saying. There is no way to tell. Back when I started at the police department, this was in '94, DeWitt Police Department. We all had video cameras in the cars in the DeWitt Police Department in '94, and a lot of the guys didn't want to use it. So they would
stop right there. Why wouldn't they want to use it? That speaks volume.
Well, I mean, you guys know as well as I do, you know, the 80s and 90s, I mean, things kind of transitioned, you know, as far as, let's just say, defensive tactics.
Sure.
You know, all you used to hear back in those days was they hit somebody over the head with a flashlight. You know, now that's totally, you don't go nowhere near their body. I mean, it's long bones, you know, their femur or their arms or something like that. You stay away from their head, vital organs, stuff like that.
Do y'all have body cameras?
We don't have body cameras.
Reason why?
The reason why is I've been a supervisor with the Sheriff's Office for the last 17 years, and the guys I hire, I have never sent anybody to the police academy because, number one, we're so short-handed. I need those guys working. I can't send them off to school for 3 months. And number two, I want somebody with some experience under their belt who's not this young hotshot RoboCop. I want to know what they're all about before I hire them. So anyway, I always used to wait till they got minimum of 3 years in, and and check their previous employers. Because you can, you get the ticket right, and I want them all get all that stuff out of their system before I get them. And that's why, as far as the body cameras, I hadn't had any complaints as far as any deputy in 17 years that I know of being abusive, or I may get, he searched me and I didn't really want him, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I get things like that. Why y'all picking on me? Why y'all stopping me? But as far as us being aggressive or hurting somebody or anything like that, no, I hadn't had any written complaints on any of that. And if I got an officer who I start getting complaints on, or I think is up to no good, or not treating people fair or whatever, I mean, I may not buy the whole department one, but I guarantee he's going to be wearing one for a long time.
Thank you, Todd.
So, thank you.
All right.